Well, there has been significant improvement in food security in the last 2 years. So according to the chief executive of the National Food Buffer Stock Company, Hanan Abdul Wahab, a research conducted in 32 districts of the country indicates that majority of households surveyed were more than 90% food secure. Hanan Abdul Wahab spoke to Joy Business at the opening of a national validation workshop on food storage and procedure manual in Accra.
The country's food security has been a topical issue in the past few days due to the pronouncement by the Minister-designate for Food and Agriculture during his vetting that the country is safe. According to the National Food and Buffer Stock Company, food security conditions are showing signs of significant improvement as the widespread harvest of staple grains have facilitated the recovery of households from constrained access to food. Chief Executive Hanan Abdul Wahab told Joy Business that the National Food and Buffer Stock Company expanded storage capacity to be able to receive food from the harvest of the Planting for Food and Jobs program.
So there have been some increase in production as compared to previous administration. So food security, the basic definition of it is the availability and also the pricing. But of course, sometimes the pricing too, because we have 2 seasons, or let me say 3 seasons in the country, where we have the major and minor in the south and only major in the north. But most agricultural activities are also done in the north. And over there in the north, agriculture or farming is done according to the season. People only farm when it's in the rainy season. So for example, 12 months in a year, farmers are engaged for 3 months and they are disengaged for 9 months. And that is why we have also introduced the One Village, One Dam program so that farmers will have access to water bodies whereby they can do farming as and when they wish. So the food security situation in general, like you said, is good as compared to previously, but there's more room for improvement because in other parts of the country, like I said, when they are in the drying season, prices of food tends to be what? High.
Consultant for the National Food Storage Policy and senior lecturer at the Kwame Nkrumah University of Science and Technology, Dr. Robert Edu has been speaking about the importance of a food storage policy in the quest to ensure food security in the country.
And we think that if we want to win the war against food insecurity, then we have to focus on a policy that addresses storage, a policy that addresses distribution. I'm sure you're following the maize discussion and the fact that prices are going up. If you speak to people who are in the hinterlands, some of them will tell you that the prices there are low. Or you come to Kumasi, you come to Accra, and the prices are up there. What it means is that we have surpluses stuck somewhere, and then at some other parts of the country, we don't seem to have enough. So if we can have a holistic policy that addresses all the logistical concerns, all the transportation challenges and storage challenges, then Ghana will be able to produce and also distribute. Then we can also hold the stock for a long period of time so that when we talk about food security, it can be stable for a very long period of time.
The 2-day workshop will also be used to validate the policy and move towards approval by the relevant authorities.
So it's not just the National Food Buffer Stock Company that is convinced about our state of food security. The Agri Minister-designate is convinced there has been significant improvement. Listen to him.
The state of food security, Honorable Chairman, is very solid. We've never, as a country, been in a situation like this for many years. And I'm saying this, it's so obvious. If you go to our markets, even in the midst of our dry season today, from the north to the east to the west, you'll see along the way on the high roads, the minor roads, a lot of food being sold. And you look at the prices and so on, you'll realize that these prices are far less than in previous years for the seasons that we are talking about.
Well, joining me to discuss this further is Chief Executive of the Chamber of Agribusiness Ghana, Anthony Morrison. Thanks for your time tonight, Anthony. Your thoughts first on the study by NAFCO, which suggests majority of households 90% food secure. That is absolutely some good news there, isn't it?
Yes, of course. And there's Very good evening to your viewers. I think that, well, let's first of all look at the main tenets of food security. Okay, we're talking about accessibility, availability, utilization, and stability. And for me, another area that I want to look at is the UN definition and what actually encompasses food security. And it's all about having the means, okay, all people at all times have to physically have access to food, socially, economically, and access to sufficient, safe, and nutritious food that meets their food preferences and dietary needs for an active and healthy life. If this is the case in the 32 areas that they have carried their research or undertaking the activity, that is fine. But we do know the World Food Programme has also carried out some or has profiled the food security endemic situations in the country. The chamber itself did some as well. We can say for a fact that you'll be surprised that one of the most endemic when it comes to food security, especially when it comes to dietary and healthy needs, is the area of Nungwa-Teshie and most of the fishing communities in the country. So I don't know what measures they are using. Of course, the buffer stock company doesn't do areas of livestock and aquaculture. So we can't use only crops as the benchmark for assessing the food security situation of the country. And to a large extent, the comment by the Minister for Agriculture also goes to emphasize that the country have for a long time neglected the importance of livestock and aquaculture. And I think that measures of using crops alone to determine the food security of this country will not be completely right by international standard and also by the sustainable development goals that the country ascribed to.
I'm just wondering, so what's the point in having food available but at a higher cost? Because over time, people have complained about how expensive food is. That also affects access, doesn't it?
Yes, it does, because the preferences must be there. If you take one major commodity, which is maize, maize is consumed, about 70% of Ghanaians consume maize products. It can be cocoa, it can be banku, kenke, gari, across the board. And even when it comes to livestock, maize is a major component when it comes to the poultry and aquaculture feed additives. So yes, we've seen the prices of maize shot up from 58 cedis per 50 kg to 120 cedis at the same time within the past 4 months. This has a lot of attributes, or can be attributed to a number of things: hoarding, climate change, and post-harvest losses, and many other things. But I must say that if you look at the other areas of the commodity that we enjoy most, the tubers, the roots and tubers, and others, we have seen some very good availability. But just as you said, yes, you can see the size of your kenke these days. You can see the size of your banku these days, and even the gari that you buy. So if we use that as a yardstick, yes, to some extent, we have seen some shortages of these commodities on the market, especially their prices. But we have also seen some increment, okay, availability of some other produce. But looking at tomatoes, for instance, the tomato issue has been on the news for some time now. Accessibility, that's one. Those who import from Burkina Faso says that our local tomatoes are not otherwise, their shelf life are not good. The fiber that we need, the fiber that is the dietary that we need, the local tomato variety doesn't support what is coming from Burkina Faso. So yes, these are the indicators on the ground. And I think that as a country, we need to work to a large extent to look at our information asymmetry, build our agricultural information management systems because these are the indicators that will give us what is prevailing on the ground.
Okay, and I have to add that even if food is available and people are not able to buy, then it goes bad. So we see a situation where we have post-harvest losses, right? I'm just wondering, going forward, how do we ensure that, Ghanaians have access to cheaper food?
Well, the only way we can do that is through our national food storage strategy. Currently, we are undertaking the validation workshop, and I'm sure that by the time we finish with it, and which is in line with the ECOWAS protocol, we should be able to have a more robust food storage system. Then also we need to also reduce what I refer to as too much use of fertilizers or chemicals on our farms. Then again, for the nutritional aspect, my major appeal to the government is to look at a strategy to at least name one district in every region as an organic-free district. This will otherwise help local producers of organic fertilizers and organic chemicals to commercialize their activities and also to bring to us, the consumers, a more healthy and nutritious food. This is the only way I'm sure that we can, too much of chemicals is not good for the system. And everybody now is talking about niche crop and niche product. And we need to build our immune system. The COVID is a major challenge now. So we are all building our immune system. So we need to look at how we can grow more nutritious organic food and safer food. Most importantly, safer food for the uptake of the body.
Anthony Morrison, Chief Executive of the Chamber of Agribusiness Ghana, thanks so much for your time tonight. You heard me speak with Anthony Morrison there, who is calling for a more robust food storage system to consolidate gains with food security here in Ghana.